Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today I got stuff piling up again. We're going to do another odds and ends video. I've got stuff over here from ArnFest South that we did back, that's been almost 2 months ago now. I've got viewer mail. I just literally got back from the Bardsey Summer Bash yesterday as I'm filming this. So I went out to California and got a chance to see everybody out there. Great trip as always. Always enjoy going out there and seeing folks and getting to shake people's hands. Saw many of you people that are watching right now, and it's always great to do that. And I did bring a few things home from the bash, and I've actually got a couple more things that are coming. Because I flew out, couldn't really bring a whole lot back with me, but I did bring a few things, and there was a gentleman, Todd, that's going to be coming down to Florida that had driven out. He was from Texas. He's actually bringing some stuff back for me that I'll probably get from him in September. So we got a lot of stuff to do, so without further ado, let's just jump in here and get into it and do odds and ends. Well, we got to start somewhere, so I'm just going to grab the first box that comes up, and this is a box of some oilers that was given to me at ArnFest South by John Sermons, who's a gentleman that I've known for quite some time. He actually used to work out at the Georgia Museum of Agriculture many years ago, actually before I even got involved with the museum, but I've gotten to know him over the years. Super talented guy, lives up in Middle Georgia, but he had a bunch of these brass oilers. These need to be cleaned up or whatever, but doing machinery restoration, always needing these things, and I've got a few of them tucked away, but I'm going to get these cleaned up, put them in the parts washer, and have them available whenever we need one for any kind of restoration project. So the way these work is you just kind of put oil. There's a little glass-filled part here that you put oil in. There's a meter up here on the top. You turn this little knurled piece here, and that opens up a needle valve. And to open these up, you just kind of flip that up. And to shut them, you just close it, and it'll drip oil onto a bearing or something. So anyway, John, thank you very much. I will also note that John also brought along a couple of sticks of steel that he had purchased for some projects and didn't use it all, and it's on my steel rack. I'm not going to go out there and show you that, but he did give me a couple of pieces of steel as well. So thanks, John. A couple of other items here that I picked up at ArnFest South. So this is a set of Starrett small hole gauges. The way these work is if you got a hole, you can basically put this down in there. This has kind of got a little taper on it. You pick it up where it fits the hole real well. Then you can take it out of the hole and put a micrometer on that and get a measurement. So these are really handy little tools for measuring small holes. And this is a Starrett set that was basically brand spanking new in the red box, and I don't remember what I paid for it. It was in the swap meet. But anyway, I brought it home. Got a little box here. This is a Brown and Sharpe, and these are some, I'm trying to remember exactly what you use these for. So I probably need to go get out my Brown and Sharpe catalog because I'm trying to remember exactly what you use these for. But these are tapered, and I believe that you use these actually to like get into a hole. You slide these together, and then you can put a caliper across them to make a measurement. And depending on the size hole that you have, you can kind of look up here on this little chart and it'll tell you which ones to use. All of them have the same taper, but you can use these like a bigger one and a smaller one in combination with one another to get a particular hole range here. So, for example, use between 3/8 and 29/64. You use a number B or letter B and a letter C together. And I guess you use them within a range. So there's two B's, a C, D, and an E, but these are all the same length and thickness, but so there's a B and a D, but you see they're the same size or whatever. They kind of match each other, but they're for measuring a hole. And again, someone had it on the table. The price was right. It was fairly inexpensive. I didn't have a set, and I thought it was cool, so I got it. This was actually an item that was in the silent auction that I got. It's a little bit of a Babbitt or something. I'm not exactly sure what alloy this is, but I've got a bunch of this stuff that I've kind of collected up that's Babbitt with the ingots or whatever. And anyway, I didn't have this one, so I just bought it. I'm not even sure what it is. I probably will never use it. It's got SN42. I'm assuming that's 42% tin, so this is probably a tin-based Babbitt would be my guess based off of that. But anyway, just a piece of Babbitt. And right here, got a bunch of counter sinks. And I remember I got these from Dan Warner. Dan had a bunch of stuff out there, and we actually did some trading. He had something, I had something he was wanting, and he had a whole box of these in various sizes and whatever. And I just kind of grabbed an assortment of some different sizes to throw into my collection because you always need this kind of stuff. And he had some, most of mine are smaller. He had some pretty big ones in here. So anyway, I grabbed some of those for some of my, whenever I need to countersink a hole or you know, for putting in a screw or whatever that needs to have that angle on it. So up next, got some literature that was sent in by John Barker up in Massachusetts. This is some stuff that he sent for us to scan to go up on the Vintage Machinery website. And I will note, I've actually got a young lady that's helping me out this summer, high school girl that is doing some scanning for me. So we are getting some of that stuff done. She's actually way ahead of me getting things uploaded and put up on the site right now, but I'm going to try to get her to get as much done as I can this summer. But anyway, here's some stuff. This is some Monarch things that he sent in. So we got a sales flyer for a 10EE lathe. We got some blueprints. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but this is also for a 10EE lathe. It says headstock assembly. Another sales flyer for a 10EE lathe. We got an owner's operator's manual here. Again, this is for a 10EE lathe. And then there is a sales flyer here. This is for a Model K lathe, and this is also I've got a Model K lathe. This is in my shop. So anyway, some cool stuff. We will figure out what needs to be scanned, see what's maybe already up there, what isn't up there. If it's not on the site, we'll get it scanned and put up just as quick as we can. So George, or John rather, thank you so much for sending these in. It's kind of funny sometimes how you end up going down a rabbit hole with something and it just kind of continues on. I don't know, several years ago, somebody gave me some control panels that had a bunch of controls on them just to kind of be able to take them off and use them. And they happen to be these Allen Bradley 800T series types of push button controllers and whatever. And since then, since I had some, I just started using them on machines and stuff as I needed them. And I've just continued doing them. And then as I kind of get low in something, I'll go on eBay or something and find some more and what have you. But these just have kind of become my go-to, you know, buttons and stuff when I'm rewiring machines and whatever, having to redo stuff. I was at Jeff Clow, who's a viewer, friend, known him for quite some time, lives up north of Atlanta. He had a little shop party at his house back in May that I went up to, and he had on his little table out there where he was selling a bunch of these control buttons, and he had them, you know, I forget how much he was wanting per piece. I said, how much for just all of them? And I ended up just buying all of them. I've got a box up in my storage building that has a bunch of this kind of stuff in it, and I'm just going to put this stuff in here with it. It's nice quality control stuff, and I'll use it all the time. So I just, like I said, I just bought everything he had, and some of it's even brand spanking new in the box. So anyway, this is the kind of stuff that's just nice to have around. So I'm going to put it up in my storage building, and Jeff, thanks for making those available to me. So up next, I got a couple of boxes here of literature, of sales flyers and whatever. And guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not sure where this came from. I think that someone brought this down to ArnFest South and gave it to me, but I didn't have a name or anything on it. So I apologize to whoever it was that brought this along. I appreciate it though very much. And we were talking about literature a while ago. We're actively scanning that stuff right now. I will take this up, we'll get it sorted out, figure out what needs to be scanned, what maybe hasn't already been done. If it needs to go on the website, we'll go ahead and get it scanned and we'll get it up there as quick as we can. But thank you to whoever. 2 boxes full of stuff, and there's some good stuff in here. I can just tell by looking at it that some of the stuff I haven't seen before, so I'm pretty sure this has got some things that's going to need to be up on the site. So thank you very much. So up next, got a couple items that were sent in by Tad, and he is over in the United Kingdom. He actually sent some stuff over, paid to have it shipped across the pond there, and this is some really neat things here. So first off, this big indicator back here, this is a 5-inch travel dial indicator made by Ames. I love the Ames indicators. They don't get a whole lot of credit, but man, they built a really, really nice indicator. They're heavy, heavy duty. You could probably run over them with a Mack truck and they just keep running. I don't know that I'd try that, but they're just really heavy duty built. But anyway, this is a nice long travel indicator. Need to reaffix the little piece back here that's coming off a little bit. That just kind of shows you what range you're in. Reads in thousandths of an inch, but a nice long travel indicator. And this one right here, this one is a super special indicator. This is made by CEJ, just Johannesson, which is the same guys that make the gauge blocks. Joe blocks are named after Johannesson. Really, really precision stuff that was made by CEJ over the years. And this is a little, what they call their, I don't even try to read that. This is all Swedish made stuff. But basically, this is a super accurate indicator for detecting extremely tiny, tiny differences. So we got a full range here. The divisions on this indicator read 0.00002 thousandths of an inch. That's basically in 20 millionths of an inch increments, if I did my math right. So every line on there is 20 millionths of an inch. Very, very sensitive. It works. But to give you an idea, from over here to over here, if this thing has a total range of the dial on there is 2 thousandths of an inch. So a human hair is roughly 3 thousandths of an inch. So if you were to run this over a human hair, it would be completely out of scale. What would you use this for? Something where you're making very, very precision measurements. I have a flatness tester that goes on my surface plate, and it's a repeatometer, and it's for doing these kinds of measurements. So that is something that I could put this on. So anyway, really, really cool. I showed a picture of this on my Facebook. Everybody's like, I want you to take the back off of it so we can see how it works on the inside. Guys, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to risk messing this thing up because it's just, it's so accurate. But anyway, he also sent along a little sales catalog here that has a bunch of stuff from CEJ in it that shows these indicators and some of the stuff that they offered. So that's pretty cool as well. But anyway, Tad, thank you very much. This thing here is really special. I mean, not to say that this isn't, but this is just incredible. But anyway, thank you very much. Up next, got a box here. Again, I think this is a box that showed up during ArnFest South. And again, I don't see a name or anything on it or even remember who it came from. So whoever gave this to me, I really, really do appreciate it. But we do have some horizontal milling cutters in here of various types and sizes and flavors. And some of this stuff is wrapped up. I'm not going to unwrap it all right now. This one here is pretty cool. Look at this. This is a form cutter. You got the rounds, and then you got a place in the middle there where there's like a slot. So that was probably a custom made cutter, or maybe a custom modified cutter. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's pretty cool. There's some nice stuff in here, slab mill here, and some things that are wrapped up. I will go through this and put it in my cabinet with my other cutters when I get a chance to do that. But anyway, whoever brought this along, again, thank you very much. So up next comes a couple of items that were sent in by Roger Taylor out in California. I actually saw Roger when I was out at the Barzy Summer Bash this summer, and he had contacted me a while back and told me he was going to be sending these to me. And the story on these are actually some metal spinning tools. So if you're not familiar with metal spinning, you use a lathe. They actually made special metal spinning lathes. You would put like sheet metal or steel or brass or copper or whatever, and you would basically kind of spin it around a form to make custom pieces that were kind of made out of sheet metal, like bowls and finials and it was a common practice used, and still is actually used in some places for making different types of items. He told me that there was a retired shop teacher, I think it was, out there that was in the metal spinning, and he had a bunch of kits. He was to make your own metal spinning tools that he had made up, and he was just getting to the point where he was getting up in age and just had a bunch of the stuff laying around, and he put it up on Craigslist or Facebook or something to get rid of them, basically just give them away. And Ray ended up getting them, and Ray's an old retired shop teacher as well. And anyway, he sent me a set of these metal spinning tools. Now, metal spinning is something I have never done. I've actually kind of wanted to play around with it. So now that I got some tools, at some point in time, maybe we will do that. I think these are the handles. This is a kind of a kit type of a deal, and he's got some instructions on here how to put them all together. So it's not like they're, anyway, it is in kit form right now, but this was just some stuff that he sent along. So anyway, Roger, thank you. And who knows, maybe at some point in time, we'll do some metal spinning videos. I'd like to play around with it. So next here, I got an item that was sent again all the way from the United Kingdom, and this comes from Dane Southern, and this is the Machine Shop Companion. It's a little book here with just information in it. So anyway, all kinds of good stuff. Got some pictures of some old machines in here. Really neat. I love having these little reference books around. They're just extremely handy, and it's nice to have something from the UK too, because every now and then some of the standards over there are a little bit different than here, and sometimes I just need to be able to look that kind of stuff up. So anyway, Dane, thank you very much. I'll put this into my library and have it when we need it. Up next comes from Dave Olson up in International Falls, Minnesota. Dave is also a shop teacher, still actively teaching in the shop. And a while back, I was doing something on the steam stoker engine and mentioned I was needing a 2-inch 12 straight tap for the stoker engine. And he just happened to have one sitting in his classroom that had been there since long before he came. They've never had a need for it. It looks like it's brand spanking new. He said it was never even going to be used. A lot of that stuff they've just thrown out over the years with this oddball tooling and stuff. But anyway, he sent this along to me to use over on the steam stoker engine. So anyway, Dave, thank you very much. We haven't gotten, it's been a while since I did that. It's been a while since you sent this, and I actually haven't used it yet, but when we get to that point in the project, this will definitely get used, and I thank you very much. And I'll put it in my collection of taps and have it when I need it. Again, this oddball stuff, you don't know when you're ever going to need this stuff. And this is one of these things. This is a tap that, you know, not used every day or even every decade, but every now and then stuff comes up, and I had a need for it, and he was kind enough to send it along. Thank you very much. So up next, got a little item that was sent in by Ron Geppert up in Minnesota. Hope I said that correctly. This is kind of a interesting tool. This is a tool, you look, there's 3 pads, and then the center is a indicator. This is for checking the roundness of a spear. And I believe that you would actually calibrate this on something and then go check another spear with it. So whatever size you need to do, you can adjust your indicator up and down where it reads 0 whenever that spear is on the right size. So it would sit on these 3 points, and then in the center, it would you could use the indicator to see if it was in spec or not and how far in and out. So an unusual tool, pretty specialty tool, something I've quite honestly never had a need for, but it's just a neat metrology tool. And you know, I kind of have collected this stuff over the years now, and again, who knows if or when I'll ever need it, but I have one. So Ron, thanks so much for sending that along. Very neat, unusual tool, and I will treasure it. Up next is a little sign here. This actually comes from a local viewer and friend, Mark Phelps, who lives just right up the road from me. I've known Mark for quite some time. He made this sign and was kind enough to bring it over and give it to me. Old saying, particularly in the woodworking world, but it works in the machine shop world too. Measure twice and cut once, and of course you look over here, they cut it off wrong. So anyway, I thought that was funny, and that is a saying that I have said many times. I've actually got a bronze bearing up here. Let me show you this. Several years ago, some of you guys may remember this, I was working on a steam engine and was making a custom bronze bearing. And I measured once instead of twice and cut it to the wrong size and scrapped this piece of brass. And I actually wrote that on the front of it, and I've got this sitting over here above my workbench as a reminder. Measure twice, cut once. Ding dong, stupid mistake. If you're, it's happened to every single one of us at some point in time. This one here just happened to be a really expensive mistake, but I keep that as a reminder to measure twice. So anyway, thanks, Mark. Let me show you one other thing. Actually, the reason Mark brought this by to me is I helped him out on a machine he has. He's wanting to sell that machine. So let me kind of show you what he's got. If anybody's interested, you can get in touch with me. I haven't actually posted this thing locally, but I'll go ahead and just show it in the video in case anybody's interested in it. I had mentioned before that Mark is kind of local here, and I met Mark many, many years ago at a local wood turning club that we had for doing wood turning. And I really haven't done a whole lot of wood turning in the last 10 years or so, but did a lot of that at one time. But Mark was in that club, I was in that club, and we got to know each other. But anyway, he has kind of gotten out of the wood turning stuff and is wanting to get rid of this jet wood turning lathe. It's actually a pretty nice little machine. May not be vintage machinery in my regards, but still a nice piece. It comes with some accessories. He's got a one-way steady rest here. There's some box down here with some different tools and tool posts and what have you. But if anybody's interested in this, shoot me an email. Here's my message, or my email down here. I would honestly rather kind of do this where if somebody's going to come by and pick it up. It's located in Tifton, Georgia, which is I'm at, South Georgia, about 60 miles north of the Florida line, right near I-75. Not really wanting to crate this thing up and ship it across the country, I'll just be honest with you guys. But if there is someone that wants to come pick it up, shoot me a message. We can talk about price and what have you. I can give you more details on it. But yeah, if you're looking for a wood lathe, got an opportunity here. So up next, got some stuff that was sent in by Philip August up in Hoover, Alabama. Philip is someone that I've kind of dealt with a little bit off and on over the years, but he was actually needing some parts for a Kerner-Trekkie 2D mill, and I happened to have some spare parts that available for one that I picked up where someone had parted one out at one time. I bought those parts because I was needing some parts for mine, and I just got a bunch of extra stuff, and it turned out he needed some of those parts. So we did a little bit of horse trading, and Philip sent along some really nice stuff. So first off is this box square, some people call them, or column square. This is made by Hilger Watts. He actually made a really nice wooden box for it to go into. Let me get it out of here. So this is a precision level, half thousandths per 10-inch increments on here, so extremely accurate level. But what's neat about this is you can level it on the bottom, but it also has 90 degrees. It actually has pads on all four sides. So if you need to measure, level a column, a vertical column, you can put the pads up against the column and still read the level here, square, and get it 90 degrees. And again, this is a precision level. This is similar to the accuracy of like a Starrett 199 master precision level. It's actually even a little bit more accurate than that, not by much, but a little bit. But this Hilger Watts is made over in England, and some really, really super high quality stuff. I've got several tools made by them, but really, anyway, and a very nice level. And I've actually already used it. I had a job that I did. I didn't get to do any videos on. I had to go level up a big horizontal boring mill for a company, and they didn't want me filming it for obvious reasons, but I used this when I went out and did that job. So anyway, Philip, thank you very much for this. He also sent along some other items. Here's some bearing scrapers for doing Babbitt bearings, which I do quite a bit of. Really nice little set here. I think these three kind of go together, and then this was just an extra one. But anyway, very nice little set of Babbitt scrapers. Had some diamond wheels. These like go on a Glendo grinder for, we use these when we're sharpening carbide for scraping and whatever. There's a 260 grit and a 180 grit. These are some little daubers that he made, and I've actually used these already too. But basically got like a little bit of leather on these, but you can put spotting ink when you're scraping and kind of daub it onto like a straight edge or something. When I was working on the 10EE project, I use this one here, the blue one, to kind of get my straight edge done. I actually, these are a common little tool in the scraping world, but I had never gone to the trouble to make any. He had a couple that he sent along, so these are extremely helpful. And then finally, another really cool item here. So we talked a while ago about the little indicator, the 20 millionths indicator. Here's another one. This one's made by Mar, super NAR. So anyway, it does the same thing. 20 millionths increments, 2,000ths total range. The problem with this one is that it's inoperable at the time. I'm going to have to send this out and see if I can get it rebuilt. But that's a really nice indicator nonetheless, if we can get it going. So anyway, Philip, thanks so much for sending all this stuff along. I do greatly appreciate it. So up next here are some items that I brought back from the Barzy Summer Bash. Again, I got a few other things that are being transported across the country because they were too big for me to carry on the plane, but these are a few things that I picked up out there. First one back here in the back is this level. This is, again, a precision level. This one is made by the Bullard Company, the same guys that make the vertical turret lathes and vertical boring mills, but this is a really neat level. What is that, 24 inches long? I haven't measured it. So actually 27 inches long. And this is a very precision level. The vial on here, each line measures 0.00025 inches incline per foot. So 1/4 of a thousandth of an inch per foot. Each line on here measures 1/4 of a thousandth of an inch per foot. So if you picked it up 1/4 of a thousandth of an inch, it would move the one line on the bubble, or if you picked it up 1/1000th of an inch, it would move 4 lines on the bubble. So again, a very precision level for leveling machinery and what have you. I don't have a precision level that is this long. Again, when I was doing that big horizontal boring mill a couple of weeks ago, I really could have used this level because I had some longer spans that was longer than my 199 stair would go across. And I had to put down a parallel up underneath it to level across those longer distances. And you know, anytime you do something like that when you're doing precision leveling, if there's any error in the level, error in the parallel, it all compounds. So if you can kind of just go back to a single item, it just helps keep those errors out of there. So anyway, very nice level, came with a wooden box. Picked this up, I was extremely happy to get it. And I was able to get it in my carry-on bag, or my checked baggage rather, coming home. So I was able to bring this back with me. Also, another item, this is a cutter that goes on my Fellows gear shaper. This came from Andrew Prestridge. He has a gear shop out there in California, and he had this around. He didn't have a machine to use it on, but he sent it along to me. This one, I believe, is actually for cutting splines. It's, oh goodness, what was it? All right, so it's a 1632 DP, so it's a 16 pitch, but it's at a 16 pitch is the spacing between them, but it's a 32 pitch on the depth, so it's not like a full depth. It's like a smaller depth. Again, this is a spline, not a gear, and it has a 30-degree pressure angle. So again, cutting some type of spline that goes on something. And I thought it was interesting, this has USN on there, so I'm assuming that's US Navy. So this was probably for something that the Navy was needing. But anyway, don't know that I'll ever have a need for it, but if I do, I've got it to use over on my Fellows gear shaper. Got a handle here with a little piece on it. This is, I need to go see if this fits my horizontal boring mill. The gentleman that gave this to me, and I apologize, I don't remember your name off the top of my head. I can see your face. I remember where you were on the tables, but anyway, the name's escaping me. But he gave this to me because he thought it might fit my horizontal boring mill. I actually made a handle for it. I'm gonna go try that out and see if it fits. It very well may. Here's a little blowgun I picked up off of someone's table for sale. Anyway, that was a good price on that. And this right here, anybody know what this is? I used to use one when I was a kid. I took a leather working class. when I was, I don't know, I was probably middle school age, and this is a swivel knife used for leather working. I used to have a bunch of leather working tools back when I was a kid. I got into leather working as a hobby when I was, middle high school age. Never really went anywhere with it, but at one time I did have a swivel knife. Got one again now. Again, a viewer gave that to me. And again, I apologize, I don't remember the individual's name, but anyway, thank you very much. So this is the handle that it came with my machine. I had to, I did some modifying. I actually made this new end to go on the end that fits up onto my horizontal boring mill. This one, it fits the shaft, but and it's got the right number of teeth, but the spacing's a little bit different. But the good news is that I can go in there and modify this one to fit. And I probably will do that at some point in time because it'd be nice to have an extra handle on this thing. Often cranking in a couple different places. So yeah, it doesn't work out of the box, but we can modify it to make it work. And that's going to be good to have. Thank you very much. So a while back, I shared with you guys a new machine in the shop, this Brown Sharpe number 13 universal and tool grinding machine. And very pleasantly surprised that when I showed this, that I was reached out to by several viewers who actually had some of the little parts and accessories that were missing on this machine when I got it. One of them, this came from David Kerr, who is a longtime viewer of the channel. I've corresponded with him on several occasions, but he had this little tool holder that goes on here. This just basically just clamps right down. And what I will probably use it for is a wheel dresser. So you can put a diamond nib in this and dress your wheel where it's running parallel to everything. This just clamps down to a little T-slot up underneath the machine here. It does have a little broken ear up here on the top that we're going to have to go in and do some brazing and fix, but not a huge problem. But this is an original from a Brown Sharpe 13. And anyway, will be very handy. So David, thanks for sending that along. And I got a couple of other things I want to show you that will fit this machine as well. So talking about wheel dressers, this is a wheel dresser, a different type of wheel dresser. This one is for doing a radius. So you put a diamond nib in here, this clamps down to the machine, and you can set your radius and basically grind a radius on the wheel. So if you need to make a radius cut, you can do that. Now this one here, this was an eBay find. I found that on eBay, and there's actually several of them on eBay that were wanting a ridiculous amount of money for them. This one was very reasonably priced, and I just went ahead and got it because I just wanted to have it just in case. So anyway, picked that up. Another item for this machine, this was sent in by Dave Baxter down in Hastings, Florida. Dave has one of these machines, and he has picked up some extra pieces and parts for his. And one of them that I think he had a duplicate of this, but this is actually another wheel dressing tool. But this one is for doing an angle. So there is a scale down here on the bottom right now. I think it's on 0 degrees, but you can rotate this to whatever angle you want. You would put a diamond wheel nib on there or whatever, but it's got a little handle here where you can basically do a linear cut. So I'm not going to do it right now, but say you want to do a 45-degree angle on your wheel. You rotate this around 45 degrees, and that's going to move straight in and out at whatever angle you have set, and your diamond would dress your wheel to that angle. So for a lot of tool grinding purposes, you needed your wheel to be ground not square, but at different angles or different radiuses depending on what you're cutting, and that's why these grinding tools kind of come in handy. I will also mention that Dave, and I'm not going to show this, it's a box full of electrical components. On his, he took all the motor starters and stuff out of it and replaced them with variable frequency drives so he could have variable speed on his different components. And he just had a box full of all the motor starters and stuff that came out of one of these as well. And while my stuff is in great shape, I don't have to do anything, I can always use that on other machines. He sent that stuff along as well. So I'm going to put that up in my shop with all my electrical stuff because I'm always needing electrical motor starters and stuff for different projects around. So it's nice to have that kind of stuff as well. So Dave, thanks very much for sending that along. This will definitely be a handy tool to have. And finally, Mike Benjamin up in Niagara Falls, New York, sent along a I think this is actually the universal piece for this. I can't remember what they call this, but I know they use this for grinding tools on here in particular. You could like take a piece in here and clamp it into this little V sticking out. This will rotate to different angles. You can put a stop in here for indexing your cutters, and you can adjust this up and down. And this just clamps to the bed of the grinder here. Again, this very specific tool for cutter grinding. I don't know that I'll ever get into that. You can also change the angle down here on the bottom to whatever angle. So, but I've got one, and this would be a very, very nice tool to have with this machine as well, if I ever do decide to do some tool grinding with it as well. So Mike, thanks for sending that along. And he sent along a couple other things in the box as well. Let me show you those real quick, and I think we'll have this wrapped up. Yeah, so in addition to the parts for the grinder over there, he also sent along some goodies here. There's some Babbitt here, some Magnolia anti-friction metal. I actually have used this. You can still purchase this stuff. But this is some of the old original stuff that was in the nice little molds that had the name on it. Now it just comes in a little really boring, just a cake. There's some other kind of Babbitt Belmont. I don't know exactly what that is. This is all lead-based Babbitt, or this is down here. I'm pretty sure this is as well. These little things here are for pulling out packing and stuff. So, you know, you got like a cylinder that has packing on it or whatever, you can get here this little corkscrew, go in there and kind of screw it around and yank it out. These are on the little cable thing that are flexible, some different size ones. These are extremely handy. We use them on the locomotive out at the museum. All of the ones we have don't have the cable. They're straight. These will be very nice. Got an assortment of pulley taps up here. Pulley taps are basically long-handled taps. They call them pulley taps because on a pulley, often you would have to go down through the pulley to tap the bore down there, so you need a really long handled or long tap to do that. So there's a bunch of different sizes. Looks like a big long easy out of some time, or maybe that's a reamer. I'm not sure. Have to look at it. It's on a Morse taper. And some files here. These are these files that are really good for when you're doing Babbitt to file them down afterwards. There's one that's got a radius on it, and then one that's just flat. This is flat on one side, has the half round on the other. And this little bag has some Babbitt in it. So this is damming material I use when pouring Babbitt. So anyway, Mike, thank you very much for sending all this along. Well, I lied. I got one more item I wanted to share. I didn't have it over here on the table, but I remembered it before I finished here. This is a big straight edge that I picked up recently that has got a dovetail on it that is 4 feet long, 48 inches. I've got a bunch of straight edges that are just, you know, that don't have the 45-degree dovetail on them, that are long, but I don't have any that have the dovetail. And for doing like something that has that dovetail piece in it, this is really important to have. It's also nice because this is a really wide straight edge. Most of my other long ones are real narrow. This one is almost 4 inches wide. So if you need to do something wide and long, nice straight edge to have. This is one, I've never seen one from this company or this style. This is made by Corbin Scraping and Machinery Company out of Cleveland, Ohio. It's got a tag on here, Seneca Army Depot. So this was, I'm assuming one time owned by the military. But anyway, very nice and very good shape. This I purchased from a person up north a while back, and it took a while for it to get down here. We got it transported down, and I picked this up a while back, and I just haven't had a chance to share it, but really excited to have this. I had a 36-inch one, or I do have one that's got the dovetails, so pretty much the smaller sizes, but now I've got straight edges with dovetails up to 4 feet. And even though I've got that 3 foot long one, there's been a time or two I've needed one a little bit longer with the dovetail, so that's going to be very, very helpful. 4 foot on a dovetail is I'm sure there are cases where you would need a longer one, but it'd be rare. But this right here would be a really, really nice addition to my straight edge collection. So anyway, thought I'd show that as well. And with that, I think I've once again worked through my big pile of stuff for odds and ends. I've got my bench over here. Well, I still got a few things to put up, but when I get them cleaned up, I should have a nice clean bench again, which is always a nice thing to have. Usually when this odds and ends stuff comes up, I just kind of pile it up over here. And when it gets too big of a pile, I'll do a video, sort it all out, put things up, and kind of get things where they need to go. But hope you enjoyed that. Always a pleasure to be able to do these things. You always get to see some cool things as well, so very nice. Enjoyed getting to visit with folks both at ArnFest South, out at the Barzy Summer Bash. We got some more events coming up this fall that I'll be sharing with you guys coming up here soon. So hope to be able to see some more of you at some of these events that we'll have going around. And with that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up, those comments, they really help out a lot. Big, huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, and YouTube memberships. That also really helps out a lot. And with that, we're gonna get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. Again, as always, thanks for watching.